Council meeting Tuesday, December 7th. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Dan?
Matt?
Yep.
Donlin?
Yes.
Goodchild?
Yes.
Wick?
Yes.
Schiffer?
Yes.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Motion made and second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. I'd like to welcome everybody in the chamber this afternoon, councilmen, particularly the ones that are watching over television at your home or wherever you may be. I invite you all to be a part of it. Okay, moving on to general discussion. The way we handle our general discussion is if you have any complaints or concerns or compliments, by the way, about the city of Lamar's, we ask you to stand up to the podium, state your name and address, and we council cannot make decisions on what comes about today, but they're always ready and able and want to listen and very concerned. Dave?
This morning I just want to reiterate what a great community we live in. We've had a tough week and a half here with a couple fatalities with smaller children or individuals, and the support that we receive from community people that call, and I'm just so proud of the police department, my staff, Floyd Valley Healthcare. You know, when you have a week like we've had, you just don't realize how good it is here. And our sympathy, of course, goes out to those families and those friends of those people. But, you know, the community we live in, a lot of times we know each other and we know a lot of people, and it makes it tougher. But, you know, even around the holidays, it's even worse at times. But kudos to all the people that have called the station, the community members that stop and help another community member in their time of need, and to all our public safety people and healthcare people that do this day in, day out. And we always say we're little Chicago. We might not have as much as everybody, but we do get the same things. So thanks, and I just want to give a thumbs up and a kudos to everybody for that. So thank you.
Thank you, Dave, for the fine comments. It's very, very true. You know, we have a tendency, I know I do, and a lot of people I'm sure do, have a tendency in this town to take a lot for granted. And there comes times like this, and that kind of recognizes and open our ears and our eyes to step up. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Okay, any other general discussion from anybody? Hearing or seeing none, I entertain the thumbs up award. Mike?
I guess continuing on the chief's sentiment, I wanted to offer a thumbs up to the community's service clubs. Often they just keep working and doing their thing on behalf of the community, quietly behind the scenes. In particular, I have in mind today our local Kiwanis Club. Its projects serve children's causes and things like that, but it also sponsors the local Action Club. The members of our community with disabilities who have their chance to provide service and participate in community projects. The Action Club is having their Christmas party this afternoon, and so that's on my mind for a thumbs up, not just to them or Kiwanis, but all the clubs.
Real true, Mike. These service clubs, again, we kind of take them for granted. And I know there's a real challenge ahead of every one of them to continue to keep members involved and recruiting new ones, especially. But the ones that are here have done a tremendous job, and we want to thank them for it.
And I guess the secret behind it all is that it's fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it
To
is.
be of service.
It really is. Yeah.
It really is.
Happen to be one of them, so.
Sure.
Clark?
Yeah, Jolene dragged me out of town over Thanksgiving, but I understand that everything really went off well. It was very well received. It was very nice. I was showing houses the other day to a gal, a family, small, young family, and she said her sister called her and said, you know, we gotta get lined up for the lighted parade. We gotta get down there and stuff. And this gal says to me, she says, you know, this town almost does too much stuff. I get sick of going all the time. So that's a good problem to have. So I think it ties in with what Mike says. It takes a lot of people to put all that stuff together. And it sure sounds like it went off well.
Really did. I don't know what they expected or had in town, but I know all day Saturday from early morning till the program was over with, it was, Main Street was filled, which is great. Rex?
Yeah, I got a couple items. Like to just continue on that hometown Christmas. I mean, we had Mike and Cheryl leading it, and actually had a public event reciting the Christmas story. We had the Browns, and they actually could sing "Joy of the World" at a public event, and we are so blessed and so lucky that we can do that with thousands of people. And until they told you to sing "Joy of the World," you could hear a pin drop, and it was wonderful. Second item is I'm getting out of Dodge in a little bit, and I'd like to personally thank all the city councilmen that have had to put up with me for the past 28 years. Some for a month, some up to 16 years. I don't know how they did it. But then there's three special people. Mayor Phil Holland, Mayor Virgil Van Beek, and Mayor Dick Kirk. I need to publicly thank those. They have become friends of mine during the time I'm sitting up here. God bless them.
Thank you, Rex. Appreciate it. I want you to know that. Steve?
I just want to echo all of the compliments for the last 2 weekends here in Mars. The old-fashioned Christmas was, you couldn't ask for better weather, and all of the events that they planned and Mike and Cheryl put together and everybody that volunteered. And that was a great weekend. And then this last weekend with the lighted parade and Bonita Davison and her workout at Pioneer Village, it was, and they got a great crowd Saturday night. It was colder than all get out on Sunday night, but the wind might have blown a few people in. But thumbs up to all of the events this past 2 weekends. It's been great. So.
And I can finish off with thumbs up to the churches. If you haven't been around, the churches participate heavily in this season. And so I think we should realize that. And so thumbs up to the churches for the programs they put on and the support that they give the community as a whole. Thank you.
You know, I just sit here thinking, it's really fun to sit here and listen about the positive things of this town. I mean, stop and think about it. Somebody's got to be doing something right, Rex.
And that's not corny shit that we were talking about.
No, it ain't.
That's really good stuff. I mean, it's really the fact.
It's the truth. It's
I
what
mean,
it is.
you know, and they won't play it on network TV because that doesn't fit the narrative, but I really don't care.
I don't either. Okay, let's move on to the consent items. All items listed on the consent agenda will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on those items unless a request is made prior to the time the council votes on the motion. Today we've got 5 of them. The first one is approval of the November 16, 2021 regular meeting minutes. The second one is a list of bills for the period ending 11/30/21. The third one is a renewal of our liquor license at the Four Brothers. The fourth one is appointment. The fifth one is the urban revitalization tax exemption request. I want to state personally on the appointment, it has to do with Bruce Brock in regard to the Board of Zoning. I have had the opportunity to meet with him, and Bruce has accepted to be on the board again. His term has run out, or will run out in December. is reading up, so just want to keep everybody informed.
I'd like to ask Jacob how we can approve $1.4 million in bills. How can we approve that much, Jacob? Do we have that much money?
We have that much.
Are those real bills, or is that just trying to slide some in while we're on the way out?
Those are all real bills.
Okay, there was more pages than ever for quite a while, and we're not gonna do this again on the 21st or whatever,
No,
right?
so, there's a couple big
We're
ones.
out of one.
There's a couple big ones in there, our insurance renewal, which is $250,000. And then we also had our debt payment, the interest comes out, so it
I
does.
just wanted everybody to know we do look at them, and that one all caught my eye.
I looked at that and seen how I was about to have you at Rex take over today.
Man, that's just, we have a problem there. I
Yeah,
thought he was
that's
out
right.
for a couple of weeks being sick, and then he came back with more bills. I thought there's something going on here.
Okay,
Make a motion, we approve consent items 1 through 5.
Second.
motion made and second to approve the consent items 1 through 5. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Moving on to the action items. First one is the police department building phase 2 project. We've been working on for a good long time. And it looks like it's going to be becoming a reality here, so. The council has set this as the date to consider the bids received for the police department building phase project number 2. The bids were received and opened on Tuesday, November 30th at 2021 at 3 p.m. And the bids results are attached, as you've seen in the packet. The council will also consider the construction manager agreement with Wilson Brothers Construction, Ryan Wilson, and that agreement is attached. The recommendation from the administration is to see the attached recommendation. And the financial part of this is the total project was estimated at $1,216,661. And the project paid for using the local option sales tax. So they did come in at under that, so which was very encouraging and a benefit to the city, I believe, once again. Questions?
We can explain a little bit too if you want.
Yeah.
Brent and Ryan are here. You'll see when you see two numbers, so the first two sheets that you have in your packet show you a total of $994,078. That was exactly what's listed there. The 10 bid packages, plus there were 4 alternates included that we asked for prices on. 2 were to remove, alternate 1 and alternate 2 were to remove certain things. Alternate 3 and alternate 4 were to add certain things. After discussing and going through everything after the bid opening, if you go to the 3rd page, and I've labeled it as recommendation, that's what we're recommending on doing. The 2 minuses, so alternate 1 and alternate 2, was in an attempt maybe to save some money. You know, when we went through that whole ordeal of the shock of the estimate going up. So given the task of how do we attempt to get that down, we threw in those alternates. Let's see what we can get for a price on those things. They weren't necessarily things that were desired to be cut, but they were out there. But the recommendation is what it is. Let's not, I mean, bids came in favorable. So I don't think we should shortchange and have the possibility that here comes something we're gonna have to do in 2 or 3 years again. And all it is alternate 1 and alternate 2 pertain to, it's labeled as the training room, but it's I think it's actually the fitness room. And it was a leveling of the floor because the floor is uneven. And then heating in that fitness room. It would be the only unconditional space in the remodeled area.
Yeah, actually, the removal part would be to remove the cooling of that particular area, which I was never crazy about, but again, we didn't know where this was gonna top out at, and we thought, well, maybe down the road, we're gonna have to throw in a split unit to cool it. This is by far the most efficient way to do it within the bid, and to do it at the same time, but we just didn't know where we were gonna land at the end of the day.
So I don't know if there's any questions on what the recommendation is, or more specifics of what any of these bids were.
Kevin, you're comfortable with the bids as they came in and the final recommendation?
Yes, I am. I think we're all pleased that we had some very competitive bids coming in. I think the time of the year kind of contributed to that, getting inside working. Some prices have come down over the past 60 days, which maybe contributed to some of it. And a couple of the bids, we were honestly shocked that they came in as low as they did.
Good. I mean, because we're $175,000, $180,000 less than the estimate.
Yeah.
Correct.
My big question, Kevin, stands, I asked it a couple weeks ago, and that is this is done, right?
With the alternatives put in here, this is done. If we were topped out and we had to remove a couple, there was a couple things that we were gonna have to budget for over the next 3 to 4 years, but with this in here, no, it's.
I mean, I just don't want to see you for 8 or 10 years. Yeah, you know, and I realize things happen, I get that, but
Yeah, I'm very happy with this.
Good enough.
I think everybody's kind of excited to get moving forward and at the bid price that we got.
What can we expect for start and completion estimates?
We're looking to start December 14th, hopefully, give or take a week or so if we get contracts out. And then a finish date, I believe, was in June. Next summer.
No surprises, right?
No surprises as of now.
Okay.
No, don't say that. Why? He said as of now.
They've already reserved under the contract what bodies float on.
Oh,
I make a motion that we approve this.
Is there a second?
I will second that.
Motion made and second to adopt the resolution number 21-63, awarding the police department building Phase 2 project to all low bidders and to approve alternate 3 and alternate 4 in the total amount of $1,033,493.12. Did we have a roll call on that,
Yeah.
Knapp,
Yes.
Donlin,
Yes.
Goodchild,
yes.
Wick,
Yes.
Schipper.
Yes.
Our motion to approve
and the next thing on here is similar to the PD Phase 1, the Wellness Center, YMCA, and actually the library. We've had Wilson Brothers act as our construction manager on those projects. They're our eyes and ears and run the project for us. So what you have is an agreement to make that happen for Phase 2 of the PD. And the price for that.
Motion to approve construction manager agreement for the police department building Phase 2 project to Wilson Brothers Construction, amount not to exceed $300.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the construction manager agreement for the police department building, Phase 2 project to Wilson Brothers Construction in the amount not to exceed $38,300. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Ryan and Brent, for being a part of this, and best of luck in getting it done. Thank you. Okay. The next item on the agenda is the golf course management contract. Attached is a new 3-year golf course management contract with JBDS LLC for the management of the Willow Creek Golf Course. The Community Services Committee met with Brian Schultz on November 18th, 2021, and attached is a resulting contract. The recommendation is the administration and the Community Services Committee are commending council approval of the contract. The financial impact is the compensation will increase $5,000 a year over the term of the contract, and there's no change to the flat fees or commissions. Entertain any questions anybody has.
Yeah, so we met. Other than the obvious of the compensation on page 4,
Speaking of that, Jason, you need to change the years on the second and third paragraphs there before we get it signed.
I know we're going back in time.
Exactly.
How do you know I wrote that, Mike? But good guess. All right. So other than the compensation, there were just some other minor changes. And if I forget any, Clark and Steve, you can chime in. On page 14, it was just, this one was just an updating.